How do y'all want to do it? Do y'all want to start at the top tier and then go down, or do y'all want to go actually no, you know what? Let's go through each one and then we'll just like decide the tier as we pick each topic. All right. Okay. So, I'm surprised no one said this. But anti-woke censorship discourse. Where does it go? Yeah. This unbearable. That discourse is annoying. I'm so numb to this one that I faded out completely. Man, I don't even really engage with it at this point. At first they were unbearable, but over time I've kind of just been annoyed. Okay. Yeah, I got you. Yeah. I think here's the thing. I think once certain discourse gets so repetitive that you just stop. For me, I just stopped really like interacting with it because I'm just like, bruh, this is it's more funny than annoying. Yeah, yeah. Also, just on that topic, why does it feel like everyone who like is into the anti-woke censorship thing, like they all have the same like they have the same like brand aesthetic profile. Like I've never met anyone who was like really adamant about this topic and their profile didn't look like someone who was adamant about this topic. It's really weird. Like all of them have check marks. All of them have like either an anime avi or an AI avi. It's weird. It's like almost like they came out of a lab. You know? It's weird. Um yeah, the Hygo face. Yeah, it's strange, man. Those people are it's bizarre. So that we're gonna put that in unbearable. Jackson, yes. Oh my goodness. The people who usually engage, they don't even care about the games that they're talking about. It's weird, man. Gosh. But okay. So I'm gonna just pick randomly. 30 FPS versus 60 FPS. See, it gave us the V word bones meme. I forgot about that. I forgot about that. That Tokyo Mirage Sessions era. Um, okay. 30 FPS versus 60 FPS. This is gonna be kind of tough for me because I think it's a valid conversation. It's not like a pointless topic. Yeah, I'm gonna say very annoying. I want to say just very annoying, but I'm open to moving it. I'm open to moving it. It's just mildly annoying to annoying. Okay, let me move it down. Let me move it down because so okay, I'm gonna move it down. I'm move it down. That one is not annoying. It's a valid discourse. Gameplay is always king, but I absolutely love buttery 60 FPS games. Yeah, I like 60 FPS too. Rudy, what up? What up? Ziad, this one's weird because I feel like 90% of the people I see talk about it don't know what they're talking about. Yeah. That's why it's still annoying because yeah, the 30 FPS, 60 FPS conversation is valid, but I always see just disingenuous takes on it. A lot of right message, wrong messenger instances with 30 FPS versus 60 FPS. I remember when Nocturne came out and Atlas for the Switch port, they didn't have the game at 60 FPS or they didn't remaster it to 60 FPS. And a lot of people were complaining and then they were saying stuff like, even emulators and mods got Nocturne to 60 FPS. And at that time, that wasn't true. People misremembered or mistook the speed option as 60 frames per second. So it was obvious that some people were pretending that they can tell the difference when they really can't. It's weird. Unbearable for me. Then again, I don't really touch my settings. Long as it plays, I'm good. Chaz, it became a valid topic for me as soon as I got a gaming PC. Yeah. You know what's crazy? For me, it became less important as I got a gaming PC because I'm just like, I can always get 60 frames per second. So I'm not thinking about it. I'm not thinking about it that much like I used to. Annoying is a good spot. I prefer 60 FPS, but some claims about how necessary it is for the genre, like character acts. Mo, I agree with you. I agree with you. I've never met someone who says they need 60 FPS for skill reasons that was actually very skilled at a game. Just personally, I don't know. Y'all gonna come at me for that, but Ziad, I remember people being shocked at how smooth Tears of the Kingdom felt for a 30 FPS game, and it tells me they hadn't seen a good 30 FPS implementation in a while. Yeah, it's not like all 30 FPS is created equal. It's not like all 60 is created equal. Okay. Scarecrow says it's easy to tune out for as somebody who doesn't care unless the game is visibly messed up. Yeah. Yeah, hold up real quick. Let me do something. Okay. I think we're good on annoying. Just annoying. Or you know what? No. What okay, let's whatever y'all say I'm gonna go with. Annoying or mildly irritating. And then we're gonna move on to the next one. Is it annoying or mildly irritating? Yeah, let's just say mildly irritating. Let's say mildly irritating. Let's put it here. Let's put 30 FPS versus 60 FPS right here. Okay. Now we're gonna go to yellow paint. We're gonna go to yellow paint. I think I'm good. I like it here. I like it here. I like yellow paint right here. At annoying. It's not super annoying. It's an interesting conversation about, I guess, game design. Oh, you want to? Kirusei says very annoying. Nick Miller, I personally don't give a crap about yellow paint. Is this talking about rock climbing sections of games? Yeah. It's about, I guess it's about guiding gamers properly with game design. Yeah, it's terminally online tier Jazzy. It's terminally online type stuff. Because okay, and here because I haven't talked about the yellow paint thing, because I think it's a very terminally online topic. But here's what I'll say. Here's my take on the yellow paint thing. Is personally, I feel like for certain sections of games, I understand that you need a bit of window dressing or just kind of I don't want to say filler, but parts that aren't necessarily like core to the experience just to get you to the next part. So for the yellow paint thing in Final Fantasy VII, for example, what I would ask is at that rock climbing part, at the part where you're climbing rocks or climbing a ladder or whatever, is the part fun? Is the part that they're needing to put yellow paint on, is it even necessary? For me, I'm not a game designer, but for me, I think the bigger conversation would be, should we just take that part out completely? Because if it's just a part where, it's just transitioning to the next phase, I mean, why are we spending 10 seconds climbing rocks? And then there's no real interaction with that in terms of like interactivity with the environment at that part. So for me, it's more of a just take it out. If you're gonna have to add yellow paint on it and then like the player is gonna get to the next point anyway, just remove the part. I don't know. Um that's my opinion. I don't know. But if the part is just boring transitional area anyway, the yellow paint doesn't even matter. It doesn't. It's like you're just climbing rocks. Um, hold on, let me go through. What are y'all saying? Firmament says I'm gonna say annoying. I feel like it's a misdiagnosis of greater issue. Oh, okay, yeah, that's kind of what I'm saying. That's pretty much what I'm saying. It's like you're adding this to kind of put a band-aid on a bigger problem. Um, Hermit Hermit said, I like to imagine the local graffiti gang snuck through the poison swamp, past the dragon or cult members to paint the dude, you adding lore? Adding lore. Okay, that's cool. Um the need for yellow paint is game dependent. I prefer ways to guide the player and or the ability to turn it off. Ask a normie, both Carol says, ask a normie. Both Final Fantasy VII and Resident Evil 4 remakes are controversial on Twitter. Can you guess why? Um, Wolves Den, what up? With Resident Evil 4's case, the yellow paint just signifies just yeah. I think in Resident Evil 4's case, it's kind of a little bit more understandable because that's more of an interactive thing going on, I guess. Um, yeah. Ace Thunder, what games where characters tell you to press a certain button count under this? Uh, I don't know. I don't know. I guess it depends on the implementation. I don't know. But I'm a person where I imagine if I was a game developer, my solution to problems would just be, oh, just take that part out. I would just take my game. If I made video games, they would be very short and very like, I would just remove all the fluff in order to avoid problem to avoid like these kind of problems because the more you add the more you kind of have to put band-aids on stuff, but that's just that's my opinion. But okay, we're gonna go to a kind of easy one. We're gonna leave yellow paint at annoying. We're gonna leave it at annoying. um we're gonna go to console wars. i'm gonna put I'm gonna put unbearable. I'm gonna put unbearable, but sometimes I'm just like, oh, it's just kind of funny at this point. Console wars are never gonna go anywhere. I don't think we're ever gonna get rid of console wars until consoles are over. But yeah, I'm just gonna say unbearable. Yeah, I don't even think this needs much explanation. It's just yeah, console wars. On that topic, mm, on that topic, I want to say too, console wars are the interesting thing about console wars that I don't that's just funny to me sometimes is how no one will ever admit that they're a console warrior. No one will ever admit that they're engaging in console wars. There's so much plausible deniability when it comes to that topic. And I think that's why it's unbearable for me because no one will ever admit that they're doing it. They'll just say, "No, I'm just supporting the best product," or like, "No, like this, you know." Eclipse, what up? Compass, what up? Yeah, being man, Compass, once you switch to PC, console wars just become even more just funny. You're just like, ah, okay, whatever. I guess y'all are doing that thing again. Nick PS5 till I die. Hey, here's the other thing too. I also hate when you just have a preference in terms of your platform or your publisher, and people mistake that for console wars. I like Nintendo. I can admit when they're making mistakes, but I'm not afraid to say, yeah, that's they make my favorite games between the big three. So that's why I'm gonna even though I'm a PC player, I'm pretty much always gonna have like a Nintendo platform until Nintendo comes to PC, if they ever come to PC. Um, but yeah, I just like their games. So you know, expressing your preference doesn't necessarily mean you're engaging in console wars. But yeah, there's not much to say here. We can um Ziad, my flavor is that we need to humble Steam evangelist. Hey, and Steam has a monopoly on the market, so they could get crazy at any moment. So we gotta keep everybody humble. We gotta keep everybody humble. Ain't nobody safe. Um, Console wars between companies suck. We need more console wars within a family. PS3 versus PS5. Hey, actually, speaking of PS3 versus PS5, we was talking about the BBL PS3 last week, but PS5 might be a little thicker than the PS3. You know what I'm saying? PS5 got a little thing on it, you know. So it kind of wins that war. If the PS5 and the PS3 have a thick off, I think I think the PS5 got it. I think the PS5 got it. Yeah, if we're talking about a thick off, yeah, yeah. But all right, all right. Okay. The next one, the next one we're gonna do. This one's gonna be interesting. This one's gonna be interesting. Turn-based combat versus action combat. What we doing? I don't know where I want this one to go. I'm gonna leave it right there, but I'm we're gonna just The oh yo no, the OG Xbox was thick as hell. Yo, the OG Xbox was thick, boy. Nah, you right that. Turn-based versus action. I'm gonna say very annoying. Um, mildly. Oh, y'all. Some of y'all saying mildly. Uh, someone y'all gotta make your case. You know, okay, I'm gonna say what I hate about the turn-based versus action combat conversation. What I don't like about it is I think for me, and this is gonna sound like I'm picking on one side, but I'm just look, I love Shin Megami Tensei. I don't have anything against turn-based combat in a vacuum, but what I'm gonna say is I think turn-based people the reason it's very annoying is because I think turn-based people have a persecution complex and they make it seem like they're under attack more than they actually are. For their turn-based games are still thriving. So I don't understand this like feeling like they have to defend the system. I just that's why it's annoying for me. Um Ziad the biggest the issue I will say the issue I have with turn-based combat isn't the combat itself, it's the stuff surrounding the combat. The grindiness, the repetition, all that type of stuff. But I don't mind turn-based combat as long as like, you know, it is I don't know. As long as the stuff surrounding it is cool, but I think turn-based has a lot of ways it can improve personally, you know. Kevin Z, we living in a post Persona 5 world. Yes, exactly. We're living in a post Persona 5 world, and turn based fans are acting like they're under attack. It's crazy. And then with the Square Enix fans specifically, you have people that I guess are hung up on the direction that Final Fantasy is going in. And the feeling that they're under attack is more so just what they're really saying is that Final Fantasy is under attack. Really, some people. Um, the most popular game of 2023 was Baldur's Gate 3, a turn-based game. Yeah, I just don't understand the whole thing. And the other thing too is that I don't even see many people attacking turn-based combat. I don't see many, well, except for Wonder Magenta, except for Ziad. But I don't see a bunch of people really attacking turn-based combat at scale like that. It's not like a way. It's not like an influx of people just like you know compass the popularity of tabletop card games, auto battlers, roguelites. Yep. Um. Yeah, I'm just gonna go with very annoying, mainly just because oh, I said I was about to ask who's Donkey. I don't really watch Donkey like that. I don't have anything against him. I just don't watch him like that. Nick Miller, I don't think it's gamers attacking it. It's more so developers phasing it out naturally, and then turn-based old heads get butt hurt. That's true. Yeah. So it's more so I guess turn-based fans feeling like they need to defend it from developers phasing it out. That's true. Yeah, true. Well, I'm saying not true. The person in the chat. The most I see from the other side are a few people being like, "Hey, I wish this was an action game instead." Yeah, it's just you see that every now and then, but it's not a huge thing. We're gonna go with. Let's bring it down here. Y'all think annoying is a good spot? Let's bring it down here. Let's just say annoying, just because it's mainly a one sided thing going on. I think it's basically turn based fans punching air. Kevin Z. No, Kevin Z. I think he's saying. Well, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah. That's what I was about to say. I didn't want to speak for you, Nick, but yeah, yeah. Let's just say annoying, because the action game fans are just chilling. And then the turn based fans are just punching air, pretty much. Um, I think a bigger conversation, if we're talking about RPGs, is more so how grind loops are implemented. I think that's the bigger conversation, not turn based versus action. But okay, let's go to the next thing. This one's gonna be easy. Gaming is a waste of time. I'm gonna say mildly annoying. We can go through this one pretty quick. Gaming is a waste of time. I think that's just mildly annoying. Because for one, don't attack me. Please don't attack me. But I agree. Okay. Here's what I'm saying. Here's what I'm gonna say. Gaming as a waste of time. It doesn't have to be a waste of time. It doesn't have to be a waste of time. But I think whenever someone comes on the timeline and attacks gaming as a hobby, whether it be a girl saying, I can't be with a guy who be gaming, I can't be with a gamer, or whether it be some conservative being like, oh, people are lazy and they just play video games all the time. I think when people come to defend it and they'll say things like, no, people are making money off of gaming, like, oh, met some of my favorite people through gaming, or I learned these lessons from gaming, or here's the thing. I think people will give these anecdotes about what gaming can do for people, but the reality is, for I want to say 75% of people, give or take, y'all just wasting time gaming. We're just, and that's okay. That's okay. Look, I've been in my KOF phase for 3 months now, and look, I ain't making money off of playing KOF. Uh, you know, I could probably be doing better things sometimes, and sometimes it's a waste of time. Sometimes it's not. But what I'm trying to say is, like, the people that are defending it as not being a waste of time are pretending that they don't use it as a waste of time sometimes, or a lot of the time. You know what I'm saying? Like 80%. 80%. I'm trying to be generous. Yeah, it's okay when we waste time. All of it, yeah. Uh Kevin Z, the point of life isn't to be efficient. Yeah. Eclipse, sports, movies, games, music, all entertainment. Now that is why, okay, I will say that is why it's still irritating, because people single out gaming as a waste of time. When people who binge watch Netflix or scroll on TikTok art all day are also wasting time. You know? So I'm gonna just say mildly irritating, just because it's like, I get the need to defend gaming as a hobby, but stop being, don't be insecure about other people's opinions. I'm gonna be brief about this, but when Ludwig at the Oscars thanked his parents for not buying him video games, and everyone just like started exploding. I was like, what is going on? What is going on? Like he was just saying like, yeah, like thanks for buying me instruments. But look, man, that was weird. That was weird. That was weird to me. I don't know. And also, I think another thing that happened with that is sometimes when one person says something on Twitter, I think a bunch of people kind of like are like, yeah, I'm gonna say that too, and they haven't really thought about it themselves. Um, but yeah, okay. Where we going? Mildly irritating. And here's what I'll say too. We also don't know if Ludwig plays video games. What if he's a gamer? What if he was like, "Oh, thanks for not buying me games back then because I wouldn't have focused on my instruments." What if now he's a gamer? He's like, "Yeah, if I had this when I was a kid, I would have been wilding. I wouldn't have focused at all." Like I just want people to talk to people how I want people to give the same amount of grace they would if they were talking to someone in real life. In real life, if someone said that, you wouldn't be calling him an idiot or to shut up or like da 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 da. You don't just be for real. Ace Thunder, when you get in the bubble, it's easy to get super emotional um when it's popped. Yeah. Um but okay. Now we're gonna get into a game specific one because this one, this one right here, even though it's only about Zelda or mainly about Zelda, this thing comes up like every like a canker sore every 2 months. Hustler One, what up? Oh, okay, nah, okay. We it sounds like y'all want to move weapon breaking up. Yo, the weapon breaking No, you know what? Let's get spicy. I'm gonna put it in unbearable. Nah, I'm gonna get spicy with this one. We're gonna put weapon breaking in unbearable, and y'all can try to convince me to bring it down. But here's my issue with the weapon breaking conversation. The thing I hate about it, the thing I hate about the weapon breaking conversation is that, well, let me not once in my life have I heard a rational argument against weapon breaking. Okay, the thing that people keep saying about weapon breaking is that like, oh, I have to use I have to my favorite weapon, like I can't use it anymore. Oh man. Or like I haven't heard like a game design argument against it other than like I don't like it. But the thing about it is that people try to frame it as like deeper than them just not liking it. You know? I also feel like we're getting to a point now with games that people kind of want games to do this like, how do I explain it? They want games to do like this like a servicey, like they want games to take more of a servicey approach. Service why? when I say servicey. Like, it's more about if a game is telling you like, hey, this is the theme of our game. This is what we want you to do. This is the direction we want you to go in, and how we want you to play the game. Now people are doing this thing where they're like, oh, but like this is a standard of what games should do. Like this, there's a standard of what games should do. So if you veer from this standard, you're doing something wrong. As opposed to it being an artistic statement, right? Like, I don't know, man. It's just, yeah, firmament. That okay? Yeah, okay. That's a good word. Firmament says games to just be software. Exactly. Like people treat games like they're Microsoft Word or Google Chrome. You know, as opposed to it being the same as like music or the same as um movies or or a book, right? Um, if a song is made and it uses a specific chord progression, right? If it uses like gospel chords or jazz chords, um, I think it's weird to say like, why are you using jazz chords? Well, don't use jazz chords. Music should only be using classical chords or yeah, these are the only chords that you can use. Like I don't understand why some gameplay design decisions aren't treated as an artistic choice as opposed to it being like a software issue, you know? It's weird, man. Arcader GT, folks trying to intellectualize game design they don't understand. Yeah, it's Scarecrow. We need yo Scarecrow. While we're on that topic, he says we need to patch a bass line into When Doves Cry. That song, the fact that it doesn't use a bass line is magic because that song still hits. That song still thumps. Can you imagine if they were making that song and someone said, if you don't add a bass line, this song isn't up to standard. It's no long is not a proper song. That's how y'all treat games sometimes when y'all be talking. You know? Um When Doves Cry is such a rest in peace to Prince. But yeah, not having a bass line in that song, very elegant choice. Very elegant choice. Um yeah, people treat rep. I wish this is why it's I wish people would just say I don't like it and then just move on. Why are y'all trying to intellectualize this? It's obvious that Nintendo has a specific vision and a specific idea of how they want the Breath of the Wild, post Breath of the Wild Zelda to be. So just let them rock. If you don't like it, just play something else. It's not this like objective thing, you know? I'm gonna say unbearable, even though it's kind of funny to put this up. You know what? Nah, let me. I'm gonna tone down the spice. Let's say very annoying because the anti woke censorship thing is crazy. That's very annoying. I mean, unbearable. So, um, yeah, Mo. I think that's a fair critique, but you always had to stop and use. Wait, what are y'all talking about? Hermit says, I think I just hate it in Zelda. That being said, I have plenty of titles with the feature, or hell, my wizard only having 3 fireball spells whole mission. At least you can draw some kind of comparison. The other thing I'll add to, and then we're going to move on. I guess this is a good transition to the next topic, but I don't, I have a personal issue with games within a series needing to stick with a particular formula. Um, Particularly long running series. So let's move on to the next topic. And I'm gonna explain what I mean by this. I don't know if y'all can read it, but it says good game, but not a good series game. Do y'all know what I mean by this? Good game, but not a good series game. So this is when people will play something like Final Fantasy or Zelda or what's another one they said? I think they said it for Metal Gear Solid 5, where an entry in the series will be like different from like what the series is usually known for or what the series is supposed to be, and but they'll still like the game, right? So for example, the easy example recent is Final Fantasy 16, where people were like, oh, it's a good game, but it's not a good Final Fantasy game. So the issue I have with this is that I understand from a marketing or a marketing standpoint, or maybe even a sentimental standpoint, where when you see the name or the title of a game and you see the advertising of the game, your brain is automatically going to be like, um, hey, this is Zelda, so I'm expecting XYZ. I get it, but how like let's speak on like Zelda specifically. There's like 4 or 5 different brands of Zelda, and you got 2D Zelda, you got 3D Zelda. Now you have the Tears of the Kingdom Zelda. You have Zelda 1, which isn't necessarily like Link to the Past, right? Then you have Zelda 2. Also Final Fantasy, right? Final Fantasy, you got the MMO, you got what's that? You got turn-based, you got action, you got ATB, right? You have all these different versions of the series, and everyone is coming in at different entry points. Everyone has different introductions to the series. Um, and on top of that, right? When a series goes on for as long as something like Final Fantasy, how many times can you do the same thing? Like, how long can you keep doing that? Like, if Final Fantasy stuck with the whatever, I haven't played Final Fantasy 6, but let's say it stayed like that until Final Fantasy 16, just with upgraded graphics. Like, after a while, you're gonna have to switch it up. After a while, you're gonna have to switch it up. Same, like if you think about like music, I like using music as an analogy. When you think about music and artists that have been in the game for a long period of time, the artists that keep doing the same thing for like 7, 8, 10 albums, people eventually call it out and they're like, yo, like people say that about Drake a lot. Where they're like, yo, Drake hasn't shown any growth. He hasn't shown any innovation. He hasn't pushed anything forward. And he's been in the game for over a decade, probably like over 2 decades. No, like over a decade. Um, so I don't know. After a while, I don't think it's like even reasonable. Arcader says either it be a Pokemon situation or folks will get tired of it. Yes, that's what's happening with Pokemon right now. You see all the people with Pokemon being like, oh, you know, the the only reason I kind of understand having some level of expectation about what a series should be is just from like I guess a marketing standpoint. But the flip side to that too is that you've had games that started out one way and then got popular in the new way, right? So the example I like to give is Persona 3 through 5. No one complains about Persona 3 through 5 not being real Persona games, even though they are very different from Persona 1 and 2. You know? No, like, everyone is fine with if as long as it was their introduction to the series. But when it's a series that they have some kind of connection to or some kind of sentimental value with, then all of a sudden it's like, no, stay the same. Like, no, stick to the formula. You got to be consistent about this. You got to be consistent. So as long as every series that you're a fan of is the same as when it started, then you can call it out. But like, I don't think that applies to anyone. I don't think anyone. Yeah, you get some people telling you to play a real SMT game, but I'm saying like there are people who will be like, let's say let me give an example. Let's say there's somebody who is a big Final Fantasy fan. They've been playing it since Final Fantasy 1 even. And then they're complaining that Final Fantasy 16 isn't turn-based. There will be a fan like that who will also be a Persona fan. And they'll be big fans of Persona 3 through 5, but they've never played Persona 1 and 2. And they have no complaints about the format of Persona 3 and 5. That's what I'm saying is like, if you look at the complete body of franchises that you're a fan of, you got to realize that you're probably a fan of something that isn't a real series game. That is probably like a switch up from what it was before. A lot of us are. And those in themselves are way different from mainline Shin Megami Tensei. Yep. I think that's why Legends was so exciting for many, because it felt like something new. Yeah, Pokemon Legends, yeah. For a minute I thought you were talking about Mega Man Legends, because that was a switch up too. But yeah, you know. Music is a great comparison. Music will be so different if Kanye never changed his style. Yeah. Yeah. I'm saying new Zelda clears old Zelda with my chest. Hey, low key? Low key? Let's go to the next topic. I'm gonna try to do a quick one. Gamergate, unbearable, stop. We're not even gonna talk about that one. We're just gonna move on. That's just unbearable. Matter of fact, put it right here. Put that right here. There seems to be a new Gamergate type thing happening with, I don't know what the sweet, I keep seeing the word sweet baby. I don't know what that is. I don't want to know. I'm not going to look into it. I'm trying to make sure I consume discourse in moderation. So let's just put that there. I don't know what the sweet baby thing is. Don't tell me. I don't want to know. I'm going to mute it pretty soon. But I hope to never know what all that's about, because it already sounds annoying from what I'm seeing. Let me see. Wait, did I? Oh, game localization. I see it. You know what? Game localization might be unbearable, y'all. That one might be unbearable. I think game localization, the matter of fact, if we're going in horizontal order, right there. You got to put game localization right there, right between. Because you know what's interesting? All three of these are kind of like spiritually related. Like the anti-woke Gamergate game localization. There's the, if you have a Venn diagram of a person, like all three of these have crossover between the people that like engage with this stuff. You know, Carol says it can be interesting sometimes, but people are weird about it. Yes, that's the thing. I get it. I get the conversation, but y'all, no one ever talks about it from like a like reasonably. It's always crazy. And everyone who talks about it, someone said this on my timeline. Everyone who talks about the game localization stuff, that's all they talk about. That becomes their whole personality. I remember when I tweeted about the Unicorn Overlord dub earlier this week. And I was just talking about the performance. I wasn't talking about the localization. I was just talking about, hey, I like how they're talking. I like how they're not using the thou art shall medieval times accent jargon stuff, right? And then people in my like replies started going crazy about local. I'm like, yo, what are y'all doing? We're not. That's not what I'm talking about. I don't go somewhere with that. Go somewhere with that, man. What are y'all doing? Just crazy. Just localization derangement syndrome. That's what it is. They're just they've been infected, and now that's all they can talk about. That's all they can think about. It's weird, man. Yeah, it's a hyperfixation, man. Carol, they're also pretty quiet when something like LGBT representation gets censored overseas. Look, they are not consistent. They are not consistent. We can move on from that one. Boycotting games. Let's say mildly. Ah, I want to say. I want to say mildly irritating. Um, but it's the low. It's at the low end of mildly irritating. It's almost tolerable. Um, yeah. The thing about the boycotting games is I don't mind if someone wants to boycott a game. My issue is when someone might not care or might not have looked into the issue. I had a friend who she's a gamer, somewhat hardcore, and she bought Hogwarts Legacy. And I was like, ooh, I was just joking. I was like, ooh, you're gonna get canceled. And then she was like, wait, what are you talking about? What happened? And I was like, oh, okay, that's a reminder that like it's not that deep for everybody. Some people are just like they don't really look into the backstory or the like the I guess the conversation surrounding games. They kind of just buy stuff and then move on. So um that's kind of why it's just like mildly irritating because I think sometimes people think when someone buys a game that they might be boycotting, they think it's an attack on them when it's like, no, some people just really ain't keeping up like that. A lot of people just like are in their own world just buying stuff, you know? Um but the concept of boycotting as a personal choice, it's fine. It is fine, but I just don't like the coming for people and like I don't know. That's when it's just Ziad, ask your coworkers and see what happens. It's top 3 GK catchphrases. Hey, ask your coworkers. That's yeah, That is what that is the barometer for how serious an issue it. All of this stuff isn't really that serious, but it's a good way to check yourself and to be like, oh, this issue is a terminally online thing. Um, it's just ask your coworkers, see what they say, you know, and that's when you'll know, like, oh, wait a minute, I'm tripping. This ain't that serious. Um, yeah, it's not like boycotts like that are unwarranted, but I'll be real. Harry Potter is just bigger than anywhere. Yeah, that's what I said at the beginning of the boycott. Is that I was like, yo, like that that IP is way too big to like it's beyond the internet. Like it's an iconic IP. I don't even watch Harry Potter because my parents didn't let me watch it because we were, there were like swirlings about it being demonic and all this type of stuff. And honestly, Harry Potter ain't even my. I don't even mess. Even if I was allowed to watch it, that's not my vibe. I don't like that kind of setting. But um, yeah, we're gonna put it there. Uh, where do y'all put Nintendo Direct rumors? Where do y'all put Nintendo Direct rumors? I want to say mildly irritating. I want to say mildly irritating. I'm gonna say it's mildly. Yeah, Christian arcader, Christian parents, Igbo Nigerians. So they weren't playing about that. Anything they hear the word demons and they go crazy. Uh, yeah, let's put it intolerable. Let's put it intolerable. Nintendo Direct rumors is just tolerable. I don't even be keeping up. There's also like, how Twitter has the suggested tweets under certain people's tweets now? I be seeing like just accounts that are totally not I'm not talking about people like Pioro, but I'm talking about people like I'm not going to say any names, but you know, those people who their whole thing is just Nintendo rumors. That's their whole brand, their whole vibe. Uh that's just it's just funny. It's just kind of funny. I'm just like, yo, when it comes, it's gonna come when y'all think Nintendo's just gonna stop making games. The direct's gonna come eventually, you know. Uh, yo, Neo Galaxy. If Smash was still getting updates and content, it would be very annoying. Yes, I was gonna put Smash roster discussion in here, but that's not happening right now anymore. But if Smash roster discussion was still going on, it would be very annoying. People were wilding during that era. That era was crazy. That was like bananas, man. People were just, I don't know, man. Y'all remember when Terry got in Smash Ultimate and then everyone was like, "Who asked for this? No one knows who Terry is. You should have added Crash Bandicoot. Why is Terry in here?" Like, and they were going ham, man. That was crazy, dude. I have another topic. OMG, they let this game. We're gonna add two more bonus topics after we get through this, and then we're gonna have a discussion soon about something else. Easy mode. I'm gonna put that in annoying. Heavy Wings, Kazuya is not as iconic as Banjo. Yo, oh wait, hold up. Before we go to this, were people saying that for real? Were people saying Kazuya from Tekken is not as iconic as Banjo? Did people say that for real? That is wild. Ain't no way, man. Yeah, the puppet YouTuber said only man. Every time the puppet YouTuber has a take, I'm just like, yo, this dude, I don't know. To say to say Kazuya is not as iconic as what's crazy is that it's not even a conversation of if he's as he is more iconic than Banjo. You if you're saying that, you just don't go outside. That's not because here's the thing, Banjo Kazooie, I'm not saying he's not popular at all, but it's definitely he's popular amongst a specific brand of like gamer at this point. We're way past the era of um platformer mascot characters. So Banjo isn't even popping in that sense in the same way he was back in the 2000s and the 90s. That's not even a that's like a that sounds like someone who was like who dug himself under a rock and then just popped out in 2022 or 2021 and it was like, "Oh, when's Banjo 3 we? 3?" And it's like, "Yeah, is Banjo still popping?" Like he is not I'm not saying he's not popular at all, but like Kazuya, I'm glad like Tekken 8 is now too, so he can probably see like what he was tripping because man, that's crazy. Like Tekken is popular among like people who don't game that much. Like Tekken is that iconic among like air quotes normies. Smash Discourse is this bizarro world where cutesy mascots aimed at kids are hyped while over the top action fighting games, RPGs, and stuff like that are lame somehow. Yeah, it is just okay. This one I don't know where I want to put. Oh wait, where? Oh sorry, where are we putting easy mode? Annoying. Putting the easy mode in annoying. I think easy mode is just annoying. What up, Digimon? Digimon, digital monsters. Uh, yeah, I'm gonna put easy mode in annoying. The thing I don't, again, it goes back to the weapon breaking thing. If a game doesn't want to add an easy mode, for me personally, I think that's just like, okay, you don't want to add an easy mode. All right, whatever. It's just, it's not like an ethical thing, you know? It's not an ethical. The designer wants their game to be played a specific way. Oh well. Oh well. You can ask for easy mode as just like I just want an easy mode. But when people start turning it into this ethical thing, like, oh, you're the game designer is a bad person because accessibility easy. Blah. Nah, it's just annoying. It's just an annoying conversation. But what are y'all saying? Easy mode is annoying. Sometimes both sides have a point that's worth reflecting on. Very annoying, unbearable. Yeah, the average of what y'all are saying sounds like is just annoying. Everyone's kind of all over the place a little bit. I'm good, Digimon. I'm good. We're getting through this. Most games have difficulty slider. That's the other thing too. So many games have an easy mode that when one game decides not to do it, it's just like, okay. Like this isn't like a an epidemic of like no easy mode. Like that's not happening. That's not what's going on. Just relax. Um Nitpicking graphics, very annoying. I'm going to say it's very annoying. And when I say nitpicking graphics, I'm talking about people who be like, "Oh, why can't you shoot the watermelons? Why aren't they interactable? Why isn't Cloud's clothes wet when he gets out of the water?" That's more annoying than like all of this stuff right here even. Yeah, that's very annoying. It's just and then oh, never mind. People are gonna say it's not the same people, but some of these people will be like, "Oh, budgets are getting out of control." It's like, yeah, because y'all want to see Cloud get wet. Pause. You know. Uh, the grass don't move. No fruit damage. They reuse the bow and yeah, it's just like. Also, I think the only reason it's not unbearable is because I don't think that's the majority of people. I don't think majority of people care to that degree. Um, Kiru say people who complain about graphics are looking at obvious surface level stuff. Yeah, we're gonna put that in very annoying. Then we're kind of speeding through these last ones. The Game Awards. Huh. Y'all talk to me. What do you think? The Game Awards. Where's that gonna go? I'm just putting it somewhere because I need to put it somewhere, but I'm gonna go based on what y'all say. Very annoying, mildly irritating, annoying. Yeah. Let's put it let's put it right here. Let's put it right here. Just annoying. Um and it's because people are pretending to care. No, I bet you right now, if you ask some people right now, other than Game of the Year, if you ask people about all the other categories, if you ask them what won, no one's gonna remember. People don't care that much. And y'all don't watch GDC either, but y'all want prestige. Y'all want the Game Awards to be a serious event. Just watch it for the announcements and move on. It's cool. You don't have to pretend to care. You don't have to pretend that we need this for gaming to be validated. Just watch it for the announcements. I know that's what you really want to do. Just watch it for the announcements. Move on. It's cool. It's cool. It's okay. It's fine. Wait, GDC got a paywall? Oh, that's crazy. They tripping. No, I'm kidding. Moscola is the MTV Movie Awards of gaming, and that's fine. Yeah, it's fine, man. It's okay. We don't gotta just make your jokes, wait for your announcements, and then go to work in the morning. It's cool. The Spider-Man fans from last year was wild. Xenoblade fans are annoying with the Game Awards. Yo, they were very annoying with and during that Xenoblade was it Xenoblade 3? No, it was Xenoblade 2. That's when they were doing that whole thing. Only thing I was bothered by was KOF not winning award, but I understood in the grand scheme of why. Look, Multiverse's winning fighting game of the year. Again, I don't need awards to validate my taste, but this is what I mean when I say y'all just got to stop caring. It's not that serious. You see Multiverse's winning fighting game of the year and it was in beta. They took it down. It wasn't even out. And it won fighting game of the year over KOF. Like, just don't take it seriously. Just it's fun. Just watch it for the announcements. Let people have their opinions and then move on. It's cool. It's fine. Japanese games versus Western games. I'm gonna say mildly irritating, actually. I'm gonna just say mildly irritating. But I'm gonna put it over gaming as I'm gonna put it. I'm gonna put it above this. I'm gonna put it above this. Um, because 30 FPS versus 60 FPS is very valid. Japanese games versus Western games as a conversation. Um, my thing is, yeah, it heavily overlaps with anti woke from what I see. If it was 2013, it would be very annoying. Yeah, I just see a lot of this, and I might talk about this another time. I might talk about this another time. I don't want to get too deep into it because I might make a separate video about this. But because I have to really sit down and think about um some of the stuff surrounding this conversation. But a lot of the people on, I guess, the Japanese game side are very disingenuous about a lot of things. But I'm gonna talk about that another time. I'm gonna talk about it another day. Um, because it's a lot. It's a lot to it. Firmament says, based on my personal experience, I put it in very annoying. Scarecrow, mildly annoying. I think it's cooled off. Yeah. Nippon absolute is sort of make me cringe. Not gonna lie. Yeah, yeah. It's weird. Okay, and then finally, Metacritic. Where we putting Metacritic? I'm gonna put mildly irritating. I'm gonna put mildly irritating for Metacritic. Uh, but where? I'll put it below. Gaming is a waste of time, but above Metacritic. I mean, but above boycotting games. I'm gonna add the bonus ones, and we're gonna speed through those. But the Metacritic thing, the only thing annoying thing about it is that people will be like, I'm someone I don't care about Metacritic. I don't post about it. I don't really care about. I used to, but it's just a whatever. I don't really pay attention to it like that anymore. Even for games I like, I don't pay attention to it. For games I don't like, I don't pay attention to it. I just don't really follow the Metacritic conversation like that. Um, but my thing is, people are selective for when they think Metacritic matters. When it's a game they like and it gets a good score, oh yes, the game is going to be good. When it's a game they don't like and it gets a good score, journalists don't know what they're talking about. What are they doing? They're just off base. It's just like it's just so much just inconsistency when it comes to how people engage with Metacritic. So that's why I'm putting it in mildly irritating. Um yeah, I'm just gonna put it right there. Uh and okay, let me let me add the extra ones. Action game depth, our games art, and then what was the last one? Realism. Okay, our games art. I'm gonna put that in mildly irritating. It's not a super annoying conversation, but yeah, I just don't know the thing about I don't even know what the converse. I don't know what's going on. I don't even know what the topic is when people bring that up. I'm just like, yeah, it's their art. Okay. I've never heard anyone say it isn't. Maybe some people might like operate like games aren't art, but I think if you ask most people, even if they don't treat games as art, if you ask them, they'll say it is. Um so yeah, I don't see much of it. Action game depth. Ziad, explain what you mean by this one. Are you okay? Is this like I think what you're correct me if I'm wrong, but I think what you're saying is like some people will pretend that they want a game to have depth, but when they play these games, they don't really engage with that depth. Like they'll say stuff like "No More Heroes" is too simple, but then when they play something like Bayonetta, they play it the same way that they play "No More Heroes." They just button mash, or yeah, or people who will say they want a fighting game to have depth, but they're not good at fighting games. Why do you want depth? That's weird. Actually, I might put this one like beside Metacritic. Slightly more annoying. Um Kiru say I think there's a good argument to topic as to how games show stories compared to movies or books. 13 Sentinels really made that clear for me. Um Realism versus art style. Ooh, this one is interesting. I'm gonna put it at annoying, but at the very end. It's like between annoying and mildly irritating. I'm gonna put it between here. Heavy Wings, I agree with you. I don't really see like discourse, but the thing about it, it's not necessarily discourse, but it's more like it's just kind of a talking point that people bring up often. Even though there's not really like a back and forth about it, it's something that I see people say sometimes, And I'll just be like, what are y'all? Realism is an art style. You know, you can say someone an art style looks bad. You can say the realism looks bad, but I don't understand this separation between like realism, and I'm someone who used to say that. I'm not even excluding myself from this discourse or from this talking point. Um I'm someone who used to say that, but then I kind of like started playing more games like Virtual Fighter 5 and kind of observing stuff like Final Fantasy and how that game's art style is developed and kind of been like, okay, realism is an artistic approach. There's no separation between like realism and like art direction. If you want to say you prefer more cartoony looking games, that's fine. But yeah, stuff like Death Stranding, Virtual Fighter, Tekken 8 recently, they all look. And by the way, I'm using Virtual Fighter as an example because that game's old at this point. It's like 2000, I want to say 2011, 2012. Virtual Fighter 5 came out and it still looks great. It still looks great. Kevin Z, peace. Um, yeah. So I'm gonna put that one there. So how do we feel about the list? If y'all, I'm gonna ask if y'all want to change one thing before I save it. What's one that stands out to y'all? Then we're gonna have a discussion about something. Hey, base guy Dio, we're about to talk about something else though. We're about to have a discussion. Um, we're about to have a discussion about something. Yeah, this is a good list. I think this is a good list. Easy mode should have been higher, but that's a me thing. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah. It's just like whatever. Yeah, it's a good list. This is good. All the most annoying stuff up here. I might want to move console wars down, but I think it's cool right here.